Have you ever stopped and wondered how your phone just seems to know what you're about to look for? Or how a self-driving car can make a decision in the blink of an eye? Well, that's artificial intelligence, or AI, at work. And it's getting more and more involved in our lives. But here's the real question. Are these machines making the right decisions? Today, we're diving into the ethics of AI. And it's a conversation where your life experience is more valuable than ever. Okay, before we jump in, just a quick note that all the information we're talking about today comes directly from Chapter 9 of the tutorial Introduction to Artificial Intelligence for Older Adults, which was created by Virtualization Options LLC. So this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We've built these incredible tools that can process information way faster than any person could. But being fast isn't the same thing as being wise. How do we make sure that our human values, our sense of right and wrong, are guiding these powerful new systems? That's the big challenge we're going to explore together. We're going to be looking at some of the toughest questions that AI brings up. And believe me, these aren't just for computer scientists. They're about human values. These are really questions about what kind of society we want to live in, for ourselves and for our grandkids. All right, let's get right into it with a huge one. Can a machine, a bunch of code, ever be truly fair? This is where we run into one of the biggest challenges with AI, and that's the problem of bias. And the answer? Well, it's a lot more complicated than you might think. So what exactly is AI bias? Well, think about it this way. AI learns from the information we give it. It's like teaching a student. If you only give that student books filled with old, outdated ideas, that's what the student is going to learn and repeat. It's the exact same for AI. It learns from our history, and if our history has unfairness baked into it, the AI learns that too. It ends up just repeating our own mistakes. Here's a perfect real-world example. Imagine a company wants to use AI to help sort through job applications. So they feed it decades of their past hiring records. But what if, for years, that company unfairly overlooked certain groups of people? Well, the AI doesn't know that's wrong. It just sees a pattern, so it learns to continue that same discrimination. It's the old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so AI can be biased. That's one big problem. But what about when we can't even figure out why it made a certain choice in the first place? This brings us to the next major challenge, what people in the field call the black box problem. This is a really important idea to grasp. It's like asking someone for an answer, and they give you one, but they can't explain how they got it. You might trust them for a while, but what happens when you think they're wrong? With some of these complex AI systems, even the people who design them can't fully explain the internal logic. They can't show their work, which makes it incredibly difficult to trust them or fix them when they mess up. And this isn't just some abstract idea. Imagine an AI denies your application for a loan. And when you ask why, the bank says, "We don't know, the computer just said no." How can you appeal that? Or think about those awful scam calls where AI perfectly mimics the voice of a loved one in trouble. Because it's a black box, it becomes harder to spot these fakes, which really erodes our ability to trust what we see and hear. So let's put it all together. We have systems that might be biased, and they're often black boxes, so we can't understand their reasoning. This naturally leads us to our final big question. When an AI system makes a mistake that harms someone, who's responsible? This is the example everyone talks about, and for good reason. It makes the problem crystal clear. If a self-driving car is in an accident, who's at fault? It's not so easy anymore, is it? You can't just blame the driver in the same way. This is the question that our laws and our society are really grappling with right now. And as you can see, there's a whole chain of people you could potentially point to. Is it the person who owns the car? What about the company that built it? Or is it the software programmers who wrote the millions of lines of code that told the car what to do? Right now, there are no easy answers, and figuring this out is one of the huge challenges of our time. We've talked about some big, thorny problems here. Fairness, transparency, accountability. It might be tempting to think, well, that's for the tech experts to figure out. But I want to tell you that's absolutely not the case. The most important point today is that your voice, your perspective is critically needed in this conversation. Because when you really strip it all down, these aren't just questions about technology. They're questions about being human. What does it really mean to be fair? How do we hold people accountable? These are timeless questions that you, as an older adult, have spent a lifetime thinking about. Your perspective is incredibly valuable as we try to get this right. I want this idea to really sink in. You have lived through enormous changes in the world. You've seen technologies arrive with great promise, and you've seen the results, both good and bad. That life experience, that wisdom, is exactly what's needed to guide AI in a positive direction. Your voice matters. So, let's wrap up with this final thought. AI is not some inevitable force of nature that's just happening to us. It's a tool. And just like any tool, it's all about how we decide to use it. The choices we all make right now will absolutely shape the future. So the question I want to leave you with is a simple one. What should that future look like? Thank you for spending this time with me.